Really, I mean, I'm not disappointed with what was passed and how it's played out. I guess the only thing that I see is in this as an issue or a problem is it's probably not so much related to the FRAs it is to the individuals that are appointed on the Marine Fisheries Commission that fail to take their responsibility as seriously or as literally as they should, and tend to be a little softer on the management measures than they need to be, in my opinion.
So thinking about sort of the challenges in the future, climate change and variability, imported seafood and changing domestic and global markets, and then the biggest thing, transition from single species management to sort of this ecosystem-based management approach. I wanted to know from you, what are your thoughts about these emerging issues related to fisheries management in North Carolina? Do you see a couple of particular issues that you think are emerging that if we don't get ahead of, I don't know what I'm trying to say, basically, like you said, coastal habitat protection plan, in hindsight, we maybe should have started that a little bit sooner because of the ramifications, the connectivity with habitat to fisheries. So is there something that's coming down the pipe that we really should get on, because it may take a while to
I'm not so sure anything's become more important now than over the last 20 years than it was back then, to be honest. We're still allowing the use of some gears in our state that have a terrible impact on habitats. Trawls, I'm thinking of in particular inside. I just don't think they should be there. We're the last state that has allowed this, and that's getting away from the FRA to some degree, but it is related to the habitat and the habitat protection plan. And of course those are hard issues, and when the division and the folks involved in the committees that look at these issues within the context of the coastal habitat protection plan, look at trawling as it impacts habitat. It's pretty easy to get them out of grass beds because they don't want to go into grass beds anyway. It clogs their nets and they can't catch, and it's a pain in the butt to cull all the stuff out of all the grass. And oysters the same way, that tears their nets up. But they still run over a few of them and they beat them up. And dredging, oyster dredging, for example, is still allowed in certain places, and it's a very, very destructive process, and we can harvest, as other states do, oysters within our state, the small number that are here compared to what used to be, and using other gears that don't knock the whole reef down. Tongs, I'm thinking of, hand harvest, that kind of thing. So we still allow some of these practices that I think if we took a very rational look within the context of the Coastal Habitat Protection Plan and what we're doing to the habitat, that we really should come to a different conclusion. But again, it's a rambling statement that I've made, but because of those economic impacts on a small number of small-time commercial operators, it just never seems to get done. So.